From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, troops repel terrorist attack on Zamfara military base, forcing attackers to retreat after intense gunfire as security forces strengthen operations against insurgent threats. Political tension rises in Ebonyi as PDP alleges attacks on members and journalists, accusing state actors of violence ahead of 2027 general elections. Mental health experts warn that youth migration, popularly called Japa, is worsening emotional distress among elderly Nigerians, especially those living with dementia and isolation. 2 killed as firefighting helicopters collide in Greece, while British pilot and Greek crew member survive and receive hospital treatment after crash. Troops of Sector 2 Operation Fansanyama have repelled a terrorist attack on a forward operating base in Kasuandaji, Kauranamoda local government area of Zamfara state. The military says the attackers attempted to breach the facility under the cover of darkness, but alert troops responded with coordinated firepower, forcing them to retreat with heavy casualties. Reinforcements later pursued the fleeing terrorists and rescued 9 abducted civilians. The army confirmed that 1 soldier and 1 police officer were killed, while 2 soldiers injured in the encounter are receiving treatment. The military says operations are ongoing to secure the area. Meanwhile, the Nigerian army says sustained operations in the southeast have forced members of a militant group to surrender weapons, while troops recovered additional arms and an explosive device. The army says troops of 82 Division, Operation Udoka, achieved the feat through intensified offensives and intelligence-driven operations. Recovered items include an AK-47 rifle, ammunition, locally fabricated firearms, 2 general-purpose machine guns, and an improvised explosive device. The military says the development reflects growing pressure on criminal groups and reaffirms its commitment to restoring peace across the southeast. Meanwhile, the General Officer Commanding 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Everest Okoro, has toured the 6th Battalion, Wellington Bassi Barracks in Ibagua in Akwa Ibom State. The visit was aimed at assessing the battalion's operational readiness and boosting troop morale. During the tour, the newly appointed GOC commended officers and soldiers for their dedication to national security, urging them to remain disciplined, professional, and committed to duty. He also warned that the Nigerian army will not tolerate any form of misconduct, stressing that discipline and integrity remain essential to protecting the image of the force.
First and foremost, I want to say that I am very happy and proud with all your efforts so far. I must commend you, all of you, both individually and collectively, for the good job that you have been doing. And indeed, I bring you the greetings of the Chief of Army Staff, who has also asked me to convey his appreciation to all of you for the awesome job that you have been doing in ensuring the safety and security of your AOR, which spans the entire 31 local government area of Akwa Ibom State. So I want to say again, well done, gentlemen, and I urge and encourage you to keep up the spirits. It is our duty, first and foremost, as soldiers. We have been called to service, and our job is to ensure that we protect our citizens, law-abiding citizens of the state. And I'm very happy to note that you have done that job, and you have done that job very well.
Staying with activities in the Nigerian military, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wahid Shaibu, has warned officers and soldiers against indiscriminate use of social media to post unauthorized military locations, operational movements, and other sensitive information, as he insists that such posts could undermine national security and endanger ongoing military operations across the country. The Army Chief, represented by the Commander, Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army, gave the warning during the passing out parade of graduating cadets of the Nigerian Military School Zaria in Kaduna State. The colorful ceremony showcased discipline, military precision, and the successful completion of 6 years of academic and military training.
The parade ground of the Nigerian Military School Zaria in Kaduna State comes alive as graduating cadets march with confidence and precision during their passing out parade. Dressed in their immaculate ceremonial uniforms, the young cadets demonstrate colorful march past in both slow and quick time, displaying the military skills and discipline acquired throughout their years of rigorous academic and military training. The colorful ceremony attracted senior military officers, government officials, parents, alumni, and invited guests who proudly watched as the cadets displayed their competence in parade formations and ceremonial drills. Addressing the graduates, the Commander Infantry Corps, who represented the Chief of Army Staff, congratulated them for successfully completing their training. He reaffirms the Nigerian Army's commitment to improving the welfare of soldiers and officers, noting that enhanced welfare remains essential to boosting morale and operational effectiveness in the ongoing fight against insecurity.
These attributes and experiences have not only shaped you into soldiers, but into rightful instruments of nation building, peace, security, stability, and prosperity. The manpower requirement of the Nigerian Army is its principal and most important component. Therefore, deliberate efforts have been in place to consolidate and improve the welfare and support system of soldiers to thrive, thereby improving morale, loyalty, and service.
They need to uphold the core values of military professionalism anchored on discipline, integrity, and patriotism, and indiscriminate use of social media to post unauthorized military locations, operational movements, and other sensitive information that could undermine national security is also brought to the front burner.
Let me be clear. Violations of social media policy can and will result in disciplinary action, including dismissal from service where necessary.
The passing out parade marks the successful completion of the cadets' training and symbolizes their readiness to pursue higher education, military careers, other professions, while being ambassadors of the school's enduring values of discipline, knowledge, and patriotism.
Still talking security, this time the Baramatu Youth Security Council is urging Delta State authorities and security agencies to step in over mounting tensions in Warri Southwest. The group warns that attempts to alter the historical status of the Zualaiba community could shatter local peace. Rebuffing recent allegations of kidnapping and torture, youth leaders affirm the area remains part of Baramatu Kingdom, promising to defend their territorial integrity legally.
It was an emergency press briefing convened by the Baramatu Youth Security Council at Zualaiba, also known as Zagala Community, in Baramatu Kingdom, Warri Southwest Local Government Area of Delta State. The briefing, attended by traditional leaders, youth, women representatives, and community members, focused on concerns over the status of the community and alleged attempts to interfere in its internal affairs.
The Baramatu Youth Council hereby reaffirms that Zala community historically originated from Oposa community. And remain a sub-community under the traditional leadership of the ancient Baramatu kingdom. We call on members of the public, community leaders, and stakeholders to disregard narrative intended to distort issue or create unnecessary tension.
The council also rejected allegations of kidnapping and torture involving Baramatu youth, describing the claims as false and capable of escalating ethnic tensions.
We have also observed reports circulating online alleging that our kinsmen kidnapped and tortured Ishekiri youth. We reject this allegation. Such claims are capable of creating unnecessary tension between two neighboring ethnic groups that have coexisted for generations. The people of Baramatu remain committed to peaceful coexistence, mutual respect, and harmonious relation with neighboring communities.
Community leaders reaffirmed their ties to Baramatu Kingdom and pledged continued loyalty.
What the youth have come to perpetuate here, we are not concerned about it. We did not put our signature into such acts, because those that send them on errand, their children are nowhere to be found in this kingdom. Their children have never come here to clear grass one day, to clean up the environment of this community. And so the women of this community stand and abide by the rules of Baramatu Kingdom.
Our father is from Oproza. Ibeha, the son of Owejubri. When we mention these names, they know direct that we are the part owners of Oproza. If our mother has been taking care of us before, our father has come now, and he wants to take care of us, we follow them.
The group urged all parties to embrace dialogue, avoid inflammatory statements, and support efforts to maintain the peace across the Warri axis.
Staying with security issues in the Niger Delta region, and the Joint Representatives Council of Ogoni Youth Groups has reaffirmed its support for the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project HYPREP and its project coordinator, Professor Nenibarini Zabe, while condemning the growing incidents of communal clashes and targeted killings in Ogoni land. The council is also calling for the inclusion of Ogoni youths in discussions on the planned resumption of oil exploration in the area. This position was made known at a press conference in Port Harcourt, where the leader of the Joint Representatives Council and president of the National Youth Council of Ogoni People presented a joint statement on behalf of the council.
Let it be clear that the GRC and Ogoni youth stand solidly behind HYPREP and any attempt by those within and without to harm Prof. Zabe out of office or frustrate his effort will be resisted with effect beyond what can be imagined. We therefore use this medium to call on critical stakeholders to desist from instigating crisis, disunity within Ogoni youth bloc. It is important to emphasize that disunity breeds violence and violent uprising in Ogoni land by Ogoni youth. At this critical point in our history, we do more harm than good.
Well, speaking after the briefing, the chairman of the Joint Representatives Council of Ogoni Youth Groups reiterated the council's confidence in the progress recorded under the current HYPREP administration, describing the project's achievements as evidence of effective leadership and sustained commitment to the cleanup and development of Ogoni land.
We are very worried by what we believe are calculated attempts, to smear the reputation of the HYPREP coordinator as a prelude to his hounding and removal from office. And Ogoni youths were very, very, very supportive of the work that he's doing. He has done wonderfully well. What we expect from people is support for his administration. I want to also appeal to the federal government to continue to finance the activities of HyPrep, because it appears that the federal government is here to give out enough funding to HyPrep, including its own part of the counterpart funding. I believe these are some of the issues that are hampering HyPrep at this point.
In part 2 after the break, mental health experts warn that youth migration, popularly called Japa, is worsening emotional distress among elderly Nigerians, especially those living with dementia and isolation. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you have just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasted live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Troops repel terrorist attack on Zamfara military base, forcing attackers to retreat after intense gunfire as security forces strengthen operations against insurgent threats. Political tension rises in Ebonyi as PDP alleges attacks on members and journalists, accusing state actors of violence ahead of next year's general elections. Mental health experts warn that youth migration, popularly called Japa, is worsening emotional distress among elderly Nigerians, especially those living with dementia and isolation. And 2 killed as firefighting helicopters collide in Greece, while British pilot and Greek crew members survive and receive hospital treatment after the crash. The Force Intelligence Department's Special Tactical Squad have announced the arrest of some alleged notorious kidnappers and murder suspects who are accused of killing a community leader in Anambra State over a land dispute. Parading the suspects in Abuja, the commander of the Special Tactical Squad, Victor Ogoni, says the suspects murdered the community leader with the aid of veterinary sedatives on the 24th of May this year after transferring 2 million naira from his account at gunpoint. The police also announced the arrest of a key logistics supplier who supplies arms to bandits in Zamfara State.
It is continued commitment to combating crime and ensuring the safety and security of Nigerians and all residents. The Police Intelligence Department's Special Tactical Squad is again parading some suspects in Abuja.
These are the 5 suspects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The
commander of the squad brings out the successes recorded so far as he announced the arrest of 5 persons for allegedly killing a community leader in Anambra State.
Acting on credible intelligence, between 5th and 6th of June 2026, authorities arrested 5 suspects in connection with the gruesome murders of the community leaders in Anambra State. Investigation revealed that on 24th of May 2026, the suspect used veterinary sedative catamine hydrochloric to kill their victim following a long-standing land dispute. The exhibit the murderer used as follows: syringe and sedative drugs, among other weapons, and they were all recovered. The money they took from the victim, the disease, were shared among the suspects.
Another significant breakthrough of the Special Tactical Squad is the arrest of an alleged arms supplier who provides logistics for bandits in Zamfara State.
Operative arrested a key logistics supplier to a wanted bandit kingpin, Isha Kwashi Gawa, along the Zaria-Futua Guzo Expressway in Zamfara State. A Ford Galaxy vehicle used for the transporting arms and logistics was recovered, along 120 rounds of 7.62 39 mm live ammunition. The suspect confessed to supply arms and ammunition to this terrorist network who have terrorized Zamfara and other northeast for long.
The alleged mastermind of the murder of the Anambra community leader explains his role in the tragic incident.
It would be very wrong of me denying things that I know is true. There's no justification for whatever thing that happened. Everything is true. I wouldn't like to say further.
As the suspects await their day in court, the Force Intelligence Department Special Tactical Squad is urging members of the public to remain vigilant, in addition to providing timely and credible information to security agencies.
Political tension is escalating in Ebonyi State ahead of next year's general elections. The opposition People's Democratic Party, the PDP, is accusing the state government of sponsoring violence against its members and journalists, highlighting a recent attack during a defection rally in Eza South. However, the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has strongly denied the claims, insisting its members were not involved in the incident, as both parties trade blame.
The opposition PDP in Ebonyi State is warning of rising political violence ahead of the 2027 elections.
Supporters of the PDP have been consistently...
State Chairman Chukwuma Igwe condemned an attack on party members and journalists during a defection rally in Eza South that left 8 people hospitalized.
Vehicles were damaged and several people were assaulted with dangerous weapons. As I'm talking to you now, about 8 people are currently receiving treatment in the hospital. We have called this press conference to draw the attention of Nigeria and Nigerians to the undemocratic actions deliberately orchestrated to undermine the conduct of the 2027 general elections in Ebonyi State. We therefore call on all security agencies to uphold their constitutional responsibilities of protecting all Nigerians and ensuring that every citizen of Ebonyi State is free to exercise his or her civic responsibilities in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, including the right to freedom of association and political participation.
All my supporters were assaulted, prevented them from accessing the venue. I even had to leave to my compound in ensuring that there is peace in our land, because no personal interest is more than the life of an average Ebonyian. But yet, they also came to my compound and destroyed most of my properties, vehicles shattered, seats and canopies, the house, and made away with some motorcycles.
But the ruling APC has dismissed the allegations, insisting it remains committed to peace.
So far as it has to do with the APC family in Ebonyi State, the governor watches his body language. He don't want to offend anybody. And as such, we must do his part. There is no any time APC will have a hand, because you know too very well that if you dare get yourself involved into such act, the governor will abandon you. So as such, do not get yourself into violence. He is not a supporter of such.
Authorities are being urged to investigate the incident as political activities intensify across the state.
Over 1,400 Nigerians are back home after fleeing the uncertainty in South Africa, but many returnees are slowly trying to rebuild their lives. While government promises of support have raised hopes, now the reality of starting over remains a daily struggle for many. Our correspondent, Bukola Joe Kitumbi, chronicles their experiences and brings this report.
Months after fleeing xenophobic attacks in South Africa, many Nigerian returnees are still struggling to rebuild their lives. Our search leads to Robinho, Abule Joko in Ogun State, where Florence, an Edo indigene, now lives with her sister. She recounts the challenges of starting over after returning with her children, while her husband, injured in South Africa, remains in Lagos with relatives.
For me, it has not been easy, because the kind of life I was living back then in South Africa, I have 3 square meals a day. But right now, to even take 2 square meals is not easy. Sometimes I just told my kids to let's fast till 1, just to make the breakfast to be, you understand, lunch. So that is how we have been living.
Without stable electricity, internet access or financial support, the family says adjusting has been difficult. Yet, Florence wants to start a business and is wondering where quality education for her children will come from.
My children's education is more important, because right now I've been thinking, how are they going to go to school? because I have nothing doing back here. So we really need help from the government. If they could, they should please come to our aid. I would like to start a business. I would like to start a business of my own.
The internet is bad. There's no electricity. There's no water.
The
road is bad. The taxis are rusty.
Me, I like Nigeria so far, but it's just the electricity. And the roads are bad. So anytime you're just driving in your car, it's not gonna be good.
In Edo State, 41 returnees and their children met with Governor Monday Okpebolo, who promised business grants and continued support.
For other things, we'll give each of you 1 million.
Not done. Today, if you look at our faces, we didn't come like this from South Africa. It was because the Edo State governor through the agency has decided to feed us, gave us place to sleep, to rest. We have actually been sleeping and eating like we were in the fattening room. Edo State and Your Excellency will say thank you very much.
Meanwhile, at the OPM camp in Rivers State, some returnees from Imo State said they were yet to receive the 1 million naira support earlier announced by their state government.
I have not gotten anything yet. I have not gotten any money from the Imo State governor yet.
The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission insists some beneficiaries have already been paid.
The $1 million naira, as soon as they arrived, was transferred to their accounts. And these are the remaining states: Ebonyi, Ogun, Kogi, Oyo, Ondo, Kwara, Ekiti, Osun, and Rivers. So we appeal to these 11 states to please contact us for the details of their returnees and do something for them.
In Delta State, 86 returnees are set to benefit from a 175 million naira resettlement package, with each family expected to receive 2 million naira in monthly stipends.
I feel so happy that our government recognizes us, bring us back from South Africa safely, and make a provision for us. We are so happy. And we also thank Almighty God that make it happen.
For many returnees, lasting recovery depends not on promises, but on timely support that restores dignity and hope. Bukola Joe Oketumbi, Channels Television News.
The mass migration of young Nigerians, widely known as Japa, is taking a severe emotional toll on the elderly citizens left behind, particularly those battling dementia. Now, mental health professionals raised this alarm in Lagos during the 8th annual Dr. Gabisu Ayodele Williams Memorial Symposium. This report brings details on the push to protect our most vulnerable seniors in society.
Between 360,000 and 700,000 Nigerians currently live with Alzheimer's disease. But as more young people migrate abroad in search of greener pastures, these elderly patients face a deepening crisis of isolation. At this year's Dr. Gabi Williams Alzheimer's Foundation Symposium, trustee Olatunji Gabi Williams notes that limited awareness often leaves families focusing strictly on physical needs, ignoring the emotional void.
No single profession or family has all the answers. Together, as healthcare professionals, caregivers, faith communities, policymakers, journalists, and citizens, we are all stakeholders in the well-being of our elderly and vulnerable.
Co-founder Dr. Gabi Williams stresses that treating Alzheimer's goes beyond medicine. She notes in her keynote presentation that a patient's mind functions significantly better when surrounded by love and emotional presence.
Dementia robs the brain once. It can never destroy love. The love wins.
Other medical experts at the event break down the heavy emotional costs of the Japa syndrome, emphasizing the urgent need to safeguard the mental well-being of seniors left in dementia care.
They are not totally lost. They are with us. They have feelings, they have emotions, and we need to pay attention to those emotions and validate those emotions. With that, caring for them is going to be joyful and is going to be really fulfilling.
When adult caregivers are caught in this Japa way, it's not just the loss of a physical person to care for the elderly individual. Sometimes it's also the loss of the presence of love.
Managing the growing prevalence of Alzheimer's requires a united front. Advocates now directly challenge the government to step in with specialized healthcare infrastructure to bridge the caregiving gap.
Local government facilities, local government offices, these buildings, they've got lots of big spaces just lying fallow that they can be taken up and converted into sort of daycare centers for the elderly and for far less money. And so that's real low-hanging fruit because they're already there, the structure's already in place.
Medical experts agree as the Japa wave continues, filling the care gap and pushing for early treatment are the only ways to protect Nigeria's aging population before the disease completely destroys their memory, thinking skills, and independence.
In Zamfara, the state government is stepping up efforts to attract foreign investment into its renewable energy sector, with Governor Dauda Lawal holding a high-level business meeting with one of China's foremost global energy companies during his investment and trade mission to China. Now, the talks focused on harnessing the state's solar energy potential to drive industrial development. The governor says the engagement is part of his administration's strategy to position Zamfara state as a preferred destination for global investment by attracting sustainable energy projects that will expand power access, create jobs, support industrial growth, and stimulate long-term economic development. The discussions also explored opportunities for technology transfer, local capacity development, and broader economic cooperation as the state continues to pursue strategic partnerships aimed at diversifying its economy and improving the livelihood of its people. Still ahead on the news at 10, 2 killed as firefighting helicopters collide in Greece, while British pilot and a Greek member survive and receive hospital treatment after crash. Please join us again.
We all see the world differently, but our time zones, politics, diplomacy, and sometimes conflict all converge in one place on The World Today. The World Today brings you those headlines from around the world with in-depth discussions that help you understand the world we live in. Don't be in the dark. Catch us weekdays at 5:30 p.m. only on Channels Television.
Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Channels Television, ubiquitous.
Welcome back. For 2 days, Abuja became the hub for conversations on the future of Africa's economy. Policymakers, central bankers, finance ministers, and even global institutions gathered at the 7th Africa Emerging Markets Forum with one theme: building resilience amidst geo-economic uncertainties. With global growth projected at just 2.9% in 2026 and borrowing costs at a 15-year high, one question that drew most is how can Africa withstand the shocks and still grow? Our correspondent, Sarah Achimugu, covered the sessions and reports.
The 7th Emerging Markets Forum is a hybrid event that gathered over 100 global policymakers, central bank governors and economists to tackle Africa's economic hurdles amidst shifting global trade dynamics.
Distinguished guests,
the opening conversations focused on how Africa can take advantage of the global shocks to strengthen fiscal and monetary policy.
Nigeria's experience over the last 3 years illustrates what difficult but necessary structural reforms can achieve. The foreign exchange market has decisively shifted away from multiple administrative windows and an incoherent managed regime towards a transparent, market-reflective system anchored on price discovery.
Africa stands at a critical moment in its development journey. The choices we make in response to global economic change will influence the prosperity and opportunities available to the future generations.
Issues are important intellectually to think of development issues facing all of us.
In her presentation, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, notes that Africa is rebounding, but growth remains fragile. However, she has a warning for governments across the continent.
Reforming the multilateral trading system and broadening the global economic base are deeply complementary. To attract the kind of investments we've been talking about, developing countries will need to improve their business climate, upgrade hard and soft infrastructure, and provide a stable macroeconomic environment.
The centerpiece event featured the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, and the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. The conversation focused on Africa leveraging its young population and the African Continental Free Trade Area to attract investment despite global headwinds.
We should be thinking our trade with the external world, not just the US, on things that are non-oil, is improving, but could do so much better. We need to expand the sources of growth in the economy. We need to expand the sources of trade. We need to add value to our products, and we need to trade more.
Creating opportunities for younger people, ensuring that you had a more open, transparent, good, clean governance that would be able to put on right policies and be able to save an economy from collapse.
The second day of the meeting focused on Nigeria and the biggest question from citizens and investors. Where did the savings from subsidy removal go?
Tell us what your plans are to translate the still monetary stability that Nigeria has achieved over the last 3 years into convert this stability into a broadly based growth that will help Nigeria's poor, its farmers, and its youth. But not through fiscal transfers, but through agricultural growth and job creation.
The minister responds. According to him, part of the savings has been absorbed by higher debt servicing costs, with borrowing rates rising from 8% to as much as 24%. Wage bill also nearly doubled after the minimum wage was increased to 70,000 naira, while spending on education loans now covers tuition and stipend for over 1.5 million students.
Because the reforms induce higher prices, interest rates went up. So instead of paying 8% on our debt, we're paying as high as 24%. When you need to service debt, you don't debate it whether you need to pay. You can't negotiate it. You pay, and you pay on time.
The conversation then moved to food and price volatility, identified as one of the greatest threats to emerging markets. Panelists made some recommendations.
Access to market is actually a precursor to solving some of the problems we have in food, especially when it comes to food inflation.
Ownership. In anything that we are doing, if we don't own the ideas, if we don't internalize what we are doing, we fail. So first thing I would advise to the young generation is trust yourself.
As the 7th Africa Emerging Markets Forum ends with tough questions and tougher answers on subsidies, debts, and poverty, the charge to policymakers is clear. Show results. Sarah Achimugu, Channels Television News.
In a major shake-up to land administration in Kano, the state government is set to repeal the law that created the Kano Urban Planning and Development Authority. The agency, which has handled building approvals, urban planning and demolition of illegal structures across the metropolis, will now be replaced with two separate development agencies. In this report, Abubakar Saliu looks at the implication of that decision on urban and rural development in the state.
This is Kawo community in Nasarawa local government area of Kano metropolis. According to the 2006 National Population Census, it has an estimated population of 1.1 million people and approximately 1,857 houses. It is a highly urbanized neighborhood with between 18 to 20,000 people per square kilometer. Though it lies next to Nasarawa GRA, it is completely devoid of any form of urban planning and amenities. Disturbed by the development, the Kano Assembly passed the State Physical Planning and Development Control Bill 2026 on Tuesday, July the 14th, 2026. The House decided that the law establishing the State Urban Planning and Development Authority be repealed and replaced with two new development agencies, the Kano Metropolitan Area Management Agency and the Kano Development Control Agency.
We finished passing a bill that will give the government to create two agencies, Zikama and Kadika agencies, which are metropolitan development agencies, which bring an end to the Kanubda law. These metropolitan development agencies, known as the Kama and the Kadika, will go directly under the Commissioner, Ministry of Land and Physical Planning.
The state government believes that the now defunct agency failed to control the rate of development of illegal structures, the conversion of recreational areas, and slow approvals of building permits and certifications.
The government of the day decided that the best approach to deal with the urban pressures is to basically reposition the agency and have two separate agencies. Fully backed by law, fully backed by all the resources and machineries of government to deal with all the persistent challenges being faced in the state.
But how will this new development affect developers in Kano State?
As developers, I think so long as it will soften the way things are being done, the way we get approvals, and we can get it faster than before, I think we are for it. And I believe that is what government has in mind. By splitting it into two, I think there will be more professionalism, and then the responsibilities. Whenever responsibilities are shared, we get better results.
Some residents of Kano metropolis have varied opinions on the development.
Honestly, I don't support the idea of splitting Kanubda into multiple agencies that may result in more bureaucratic bottlenecks and corruption. I truly welcome this development. It will speed up the process of certification and obtaining building permits, as well as take care of illegal structures in Kano.
While the government believes the creation of the new agencies will enhance efficiency, residents are concerned about getting their certifications and building approvals on time. Abubakar Salihu, Channels Television News.
The governor of Taraba State, Agbo Kefa, says his administration places education at the center of its development agenda and will not relent until he gets it right in the sector. Now, speaking at the maiden convocation of the state-owned Polytechnic, Governor Kefas explains that he is determined to provide all the necessary support to help strengthen weak systems that will translate into improved facilities, stronger practical training, and greater public confidence on graduates who can compete anywhere in the world.
if not because of your tight schedule.
Governor Abu Kefas, former Governor Jolly Yeme, students, members of the academia, politicians and residents from all walks of life are at the Taraba State Polytechnic to witness the maiden combined convocation of the institution, which is holding for the first time since its establishment in 1995, courtesy of the Kefas-led administration.
The graduate of today.
According to the rector of the Polytechnic, the quest for white-collar jobs is not just the solution to the challenges facing Nigeria, but being innovative in entrepreneurship, exportable business skills, and solution-driven individuals remains the pathway to accelerated growth.
The graduate of today must not only seek employment, but should also possess skills and confidence to create opportunity for himself or herself and others.
A former governor of the state, Jolly Nyeme, lauds the transformational drive of the current administration in education sector as he urged the state government to consider the best graduating students for employment, just as the graduates speak on the governor's passion for youth development through education.
If this be Your Excellency, those that graduated and receive award should be given automatic employment, either in the institution so that they can read further, so that we can have more PhDs. If possible, we'll have professors here by the grace of God. Your passion for youth development and empowerment in Taraba State is unequaled by any administrator in Nigeria. You slashed the tuition fees of tertiary institutions in Taraba State by 50%, making it the lowest in the whole country.
For Governor Abu Kefas, he believes that education remains the bedrock of development, and his administration is poised to strengthen and restore confidence in producing graduates that can compete anywhere in the world.
Taraba State is blessed with vast agricultural land, water resources, minerals, tourism potential, livestock, and a youthful population. But natural resources alone do not create prosperity. It is knowledge, technology, skills, discipline, and responsible leadership that convert resources into development. I therefore expect Taraba State Polytechnic to align its program with the real needs of our state.
With the combined convocation of the Taraba State Polytechnic, the state governor believes education remains the cornerstone of his development agenda as he orders all tertiary institutions in the state to hold yearly convocation.
And now to the arts. The Precision of Light in the Dark is a solo exhibition by Yago Sanchez at the Integra Art Space in Lagos. The artist uses his unique mosaic technique in over 20 works of art which explore different issues and celebrate icons. We see it on Art Review tonight.
The intentionality of crystal art is on display at Integra Art Space in Lekki, Lagos, as it hosts Spanish artist Yago Sanchez in an exhibition titled The Precision of Light in the Dark. Sanchez, a self-taught artist, brings the Spanish craft tradition to Lagos, demonstrating that art extends far beyond traditional painting, drawing, or sculpture.
Mi idea nace siempre de la imaginación. De pequeño hacía muchos puzzles. He started working with really heavy materials, and now he works with 5mm crystals that is adhesive ones, and with the velvet is more lighter.
Through his collection, the artist unveils a series of immersive crystal mosaics that transform dramatically when illuminated. The interaction of lights with their surfaces truly brings the exhibition's title to life.
Yago is a mosaic crystal artist. What's so unique about it is that he uses crystals as opposed to usually we have tiles. Most people make it with tiles. And even here, we do similar things. We use beads. We are famous for that. And this is just a little bit different from that because it's crystals. So, and he's been doing this now for about 10 years. And I believe he's been wanting to come to Nigeria for some time. So this is really wonderful to have him here now.
What we've come to realize is that there are various forms in which creatives express themselves with a canvas. Just refreshing to see that there's now a new different medium, right? As I've gone around, I've seen this particular artist use beads and crystals and stones to tell art in the most unique way, and also to tell the story of great talent an artist has lived. It's very impressive. If I have the opportunity to get any of these, I'm pretty sure I'll take all of them and take it to my house.
Beyond their visual appeal, these images bridge Spanish craft heritage with the evolving scale of contemporary African art by fostering a dialogue between two traditions with shared histories, which validates the importance of international artistic exchange.
Welcome to Sports News. Team Australia emerges winners of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland, clinching 70 gold, 45 silver and 56 bronze medals, clinching a total of 171 medals. England comes in second spot with 29 gold, 45 silver and 36 bronze, at a total of 110 medals. In third place is Canada with 19 gold, 20 silver and 23 bronze, picking a total of 62 medals. Team Nigeria is the only African team in the top 10, and sitting in the 7th position with 24 medals, 10 gold, 7 silver and 7 bronze. Nigeria won 4 gold medals in athletics, 3 gold in weightlifting and another 3 in powerlifting. A Commonwealth Games weightlifting gold medalist Onome Didi says her next target is to secure qualification for the Los Angeles Olympic Games in 2028. Didi, competing in her first Commonwealth Games, set new Games records in all 3 categories to claim the women's 53 kg weightlifting title at the just concluded Games. She told our sports correspondent Austin Okon-Akpan in Glasgow that early preparation was the key to her success.
Please let's celebrate that. Thank you.
The preparation for the Commonwealth was a very top-notch one. I've not been to any games before. This is my first Commonwealth game, and with the preparation, I was really impressed. Even people that have attended the previous one before, they testified to that the preparation can't be compared to this, which really motivates most of the athletes, most especially when our DG came to us to say a few words to us and let us know what we are going to get when we win a gold, silver and bronze medal. And with that, I really feel motivated with that, because as an athlete, nobody wants to be a loser, most especially when money is involved. And with their preparation, it's a very top-notch one, as I've said before. And if they continue this way, which I believe it will never stop, my main goal is to go to qualify for the Olympics. And no, I don't just want to be there alone to compete. I want to be on the podium also.
A success story at the Commonwealth Games, and not so much success in football as far as the WAFU Under-20 Championship is concerned. Well, Nigeria's Flying Eagles suffered a 2-0 defeat to Burkina Faso at the championship. That's the WAFU B Under-20 tournament earlier today, but still progressed to the semi-finals as Group B runners-up. Abdou Mekaba's side had opened the tournament with a 4-2 victory over Ghana before defeating Togo 3-0 to put themselves in a strong position for qualification. However, they were outplayed by the Burkinabés, who secured top spot in the group with 7 points from 3 games, while Nigeria finished on 6 points. The result means Burkina Faso will face Niger in the semis, while Nigeria will take on host Côte d'Ivoire in the other semi-final game, with the winners qualifying for the 2027 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations, which will be hosted by Ghana. Cameroon moved to the brink of the CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations quarterfinals with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Ghana in Group D clash in Rabat earlier today. The indomitable Lionesses followed up last week's 2-1 win over Mali with another disciplined display, while Marie Nga Manga continued her fine form by scoring her third goal of the tournament. All of Cameroon's goals in Morocco 2026 have come from the forward. Now, the match also marked the 10th CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations meeting between Ghana and Cameroon since 1998. The victory leaves the indomitable Lionesses firmly on course for a place in the knockout phase ahead of their final Group D fixture against Cape Verde. On the international scene, Greece authorities say 2 crew members have been killed after 2 helicopters collided mid-air in Greece as they were battling wildfires. The fatalities were a Danish pilot and a Greek fire service liaison officer. A British pilot and another Greek coordinator on the second helicopter survived. A video of the incident some 65 kilometers west of the capital Athens shows one of the 2 Bell helicopters hitting the propellers of the other, which burst into flames and then crashed into a raven. Now, the other aircraft made an emergency landing. Wildfires have broken out in Greece this week, prompting mass evacuations. Other European states have also suffered devastating blazes during prolonged heat waves. According to the Greek fire service, the 2 leased Bell helicopters collided on Sunday while taking part in efforts to tackle a large wildfire burning on the Attica-Boeotia border. The crew members of the 1 aircraft were rescued alive, while the second crew were recovered unconscious and sadly later pronounced dead. U.S. President Donald Trump says he has cancelled strikes against Iran, provided a deal is struck rapidly with the country. He confirmed this in his post on Truth Social, in which he said he had been asked by Iran and other countries in the Middle East to hold off on any attack, as the parameters of a deal had been agreed. It is not the first time that President Trump has issued apocalyptic warnings, only to subsequently insist that diplomacy was being given a chance. Iran's semi-official Mehr News agency denied that Tehran had asked the U.S. to hold off on further military action, saying Mr. Trump's claims were nothing but a new lie. And the main news again. Troops repelled a terrorist attack on a Zamfara military base, forcing attackers to retreat after intense gunfire as security forces strengthened operations against insurgent threats. And political tension has risen in Ebonyi State as the PDP alleged attacks on members and journalists, accusing state actors of violence ahead of the 2027 general elections. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. From everyone here, you have a good night.